Welcome and happy June. Jason and I want to thank you very much for participating in iPad U Getting Personal. We firmly believe that personalized learning can transform the education and the classrooms at Jamestown Public Schools by turning them into true learning communities that value each and every person in the classroom, teachers, staff, and students alike. By using applications like Keynote, Numbers, iMovie, GarageBand, and Pages, kids can put their personal touches on each and every product that they produce. These apps aren't asking kids to passively watch, but actively produce. With these apps, students aren't filling in blanks on PDFs, but planning, collaborating, and revising. With these apps, students aren't simply replacing work done with pencil and paper, but taking their learning to whole new levels with audio and video recordings, animations, and student-created soundtracks. As you now know, personalized learning has four major components: reflection and goal setting, targeted instruction, collaboration and creativity, and flexible path and pace. With reflection and goal setting, we hope teachers and students work together to set learning targets based upon the New York State learning standards for all content areas. As students begin to track their own goals, teachers gradually release control to the students, personalizing their needs and interests. When students are learning partners, they will become participants in their own education rather than having education done to them. Targeted instruction done well sees students having some input into how they consume course content. Kids might have videos, audio recordings, presentations by community members, or short stories as options on a learning menu, all leading to the mastery of content standards. The areas of collaboration and creativity are really where the world has changed. No longer do people work in isolated cubicles, but in open spaces where ideas are shared and built upon in teams. We can prepare our students for tomorrow by recreating this type of environment in our classes today. As an added benefit, students who share ideas and have valued input into personal products feel valued and develop empathy towards one another and members of the group. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a classroom where there's more support and care for each other? When teachers give students the option for flexible learning pathways and pacing, we see students taking more educational risks and learning not only about the content, but about their own strengths and weaknesses as members of the classroom community. Students quickly realize that they not only want students to work with them, but they need friends with other skills to produce the best possible products. Again, a class where individual student skills are fostered is a classroom that becomes a place where we all want to be. Ultimately, we want our classrooms to be places of deep thinking, where kids are recreating what happens in real life. We have the technology in place to make this happen, to have kids play the game at the junior level. For example, kids learning about the life cycles of a frog can create iMovie or Clips videos explaining the science involved here to others. In social studies, students can best determine which historical documents tell the truth of a topic. They can put those documents together on a Pages doc and complete with student analysis in an audio format of how each document contributes to the greater understanding of the topic at hand. And in math, students can take pictures of a ramp at school, sketch the angles involved on a Numbers or Keynote document, and then explain whether or not those ramps are up to the local building codes. By asking our students to participate in their content areas as scientists, musicians, historians, artists, and authors, we're asking them to develop skills that will far outlast the recall of a simple worksheet or reading comprehension question at the end of a text. In addition to your stipend, to show our gratitude for your efforts in completing this course and thinking about how to use the iPads in your classroom to personalize the student experience, Jamestown Public Schools and Apple have a few things in store for you. First, as a newly minted Apple teacher, you have already been given your Apple Teacher credentials. Jason and I urge you to add Apple Teacher to your email signature. We also will be sending you an Apple Teacher sticker to proudly display your status. Finally, each person who completed the course will be getting a newer, faster iPad with a bigger screen and an Apple Pencil. They are currently on order and should be in this summer. Again, Jason and I want to thank you very much for taking iPad U Getting Personal this year. We hope that you have found many new ideas to enhance your classroom and enhance your lessons. Please use these tools, be they audio, video, animations, music creation, art, or digital photography, to move away from the traditional consumption of content and into the production of products that show mastery of learning. Each of our kids carries around a device that can recreate a worksheet in digital form. But we now know what the kids can do can be so much more engaging, so much more meaningful, so much more personalized, and so much more fun by using the tools in the iPad that they carry around with them each day and every day. If you ever need a refresher on anything or need some new ideas to help your lessons take flight, please, please, please reach out to Jason and I. We are thrilled to help. And we trust that you will become a vocal advocate for changing a JPS education from one of consuming content, producing personalized products in which students take pride collaborating, displaying creativity, and recreating real-life learning experiences. First of all, Jason and I would love to say congratulations for those of you who have graduated iPad U in 2023. It's been a long 6 months, but we certainly appreciate all of the efforts that you guys have put in. On the screen, you're looking at the things that we tackled this year. We talked about the iPad accessibility features and all the things the iPad can do. We also dove into Pages and Keynote, Numbers, iMovie, and GarageBand, and you got your certificates in each. So again, congratulations. And if you did that, you became an Apple teacher and you are certified. And Jason and I urge you all to please put Apple teacher in your email signature. We're over 100 Apple teachers in the district at this point. So the first thing that we did was we took a look at the iPad itself, and we looked at all of the things that it can do, like screenshots, voice memos, notes, Safari, photos, accessibility features, camera, etc. One of the things that we absolutely loved was the idea of photo annotation. So we want to show you a couple of things that are possible with the iPad if they didn't jump off the pages while you were doing that. So here's a couple of the core products that our core folks have done. For example, in photo annotation, Kim Austin in her grade does a photo project of inherited traits and has the kids take a selfie and draw those inherited traits on a picture of themselves. Really cool, really creative, really personalized project. Here's another one, notes image to import and checklist. So kids took a picture of a particular thing that they were reading in English, talked about a vocabulary piece, and then had to go ahead and draw that, create a visual for that particular section of the reading using notes. In showing student thinking in math, Lisa Holt has the kids actually take a picture of a problem, she sends it out, and then has the kids do the problem in the notes or in the Numbers app, and then do a screen recording, which you can see in the top right hand side. She's doing a screen recording, and annotate and explain how it is that they solved their problem. So kids who we think are using ChatGPT for their math solutions or other online features, they cannot do that anymore because they are explaining their process. Great idea, Lisa Holt. Then we dove into Pages. Pages allows you to do all kinds of really cool things. Collaboration's coming along. We'll hopefully get there soon. But as you know, you can drop your audio and recordings. And for those of us who have trouble drawing like me, Shapes is really nice. You could drag in your own personal photos from the internet with split screen, drop in text, and then you can create a template to share with kids. So here are some of the things that other people are doing in the district. For example, About Me projects are really cool for the beginning of the year. Kristen Hockenberry had the kids pick a Dr. Seuss book and then create their own title for that. So here is a remake of Dr. Seuss, The Places You'll Go. Sarah Jolly had the kids do photographs using shapes and then took those shapes and found the actual images of those things and embed them into the shapes. No drawing necessary, just a little bit of tech support. About Me projects with audio. One of the classes have to do an About Me project for first thing that they do at the beginning of the year to introduce themselves to the class, including an audio feature. And interactive content pages are super fun. This one was done by Steve Profiter, and I wanted to show this specifically because it's really cool. He introduces both the content on how skydiving works, but also has the kids talk about the content, has them do an audio recording, and then further down you can see that they drop in images, but also when Steve actually has the content, he has the kids also, and I love this, he makes fun of Jason, import images and then has that linked to a Neil deGrasse Tyson explanation of both air resistance and gravity. And the shapes are built in, the drawings over the top. Such a cool project, using a lot of different things that Pages has to offer. The next thing that we looked at is Keynote. And Keynote is your basic PowerPoint idea, but on steroids. As you know, you can do basic slides, but you can also do a video presentation, this is what we're doing right now. This whole thing is on Keynote. So you can do a recording, you can present with that. Magic Move is such a cool project, and we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to show Hugh's project with that. Drawing shapes again, but you could do tables and charts as well. So here's some ideas that people have done in our district already. Traditional presentation, but you can add drawings to that. So this is a project, elementary school, straight presentation with your pictures and notes, but then drawing on the top to show those curls of the particular piece. Choose your own adventure. Clint did this at the high school. So these pictures of the famous astronomers, including Clint himself, are all clickable and allows you to jump to a different slide in that keynote so the kids choose their own adventure. A prompt for student drawing and vocabulary. So this particular teacher, this is really cool. We have a vocabulary piece at the top, and then the kids had to draw what it is that they see using shapes. Magic Move and the power of size and image. So here we have England as a very large shape and Gandhi growing in size as the power of the people in India are growing over time. So the content is laid off in the background, and Hugh uses Magic Move to show the difference in power being shared, starting with big England and then ending with big Gandhi and representing the power of the people and in India's independence in 1947. Really cool graphic representation of a social studies content idea. We then talked about Numbers. Numbers does basic spreadsheet things, which, as I've talked about many times in the comment section, that spreadsheets gives me hives, but it can be used for really cool ideas for the charts and basics as far as the charts go, which we'll see in just a second. But you can also click the top left-hand corner and get rid of that chart, and Numbers becomes an infinite whiteboard on which students can draw and record and drop images and all the things they can do in Numbers and Pages. So let's take a look at some of the things that already have been done in our district. So you can use it as a traditional spreadsheet. For example, this particular teacher, Michelle, is using the chart to represent the reading progress by her students. We also can embed audio, shapes, and images. So here's a chart talking about word chains. We have images and then the words themselves and how to say them. You can also delete the chart and create infographics. In Heather Schultz's class, she's talking about imperialism. So the kids drag in pictures and then an audio file. We can also do images and annotations. This is a elementary school teacher who asked kids to find shapes in the classroom and then locate those and then go ahead and draw them. And lastly, here's a multi-step project at the high school. I love this idea. It is a multi-tab numbers document. In the top left-hand corner, you can see what each of the tabs represents. So Brad put directions on one and shapes on a second tab, vocabulary on a third. So when the kids get to the vocabulary tab, these are the words that they need to know. Then they tie that into an enduring issue, which is something that all social studies and all grades should be talking about. So how do those things tie into an enduring issue? And on his last tab, he's talking about stats and supporting data and supporting resources. What I love about this is it forces the kids to see that there are multi-step process. So in science, you could do a step tab for each step in an example. Or in math class, if you have a multi-step problem, you can make the kids do a step on each slide so that they know, hey, you're missing a particular slide, you're missing a particular tab, you're missing a step in that math equation. Love that project. So, another thing that you got your badges in this year is iMovie. iMovie can be pretty complicated, but there's some really cool things going on in the district with iMovie. You can trim, you can add photos, you can drop in effects, green screen and overlays are options. You can do picture-in-picture, you can drop in titles. iMovie is super powerful. So let's take a look at some of the things that are being done in the district for iMovie. For example, short little iMovie clips we have here, the garden club, and what I want to emphasize is we've got titles, we've got some motion going on, we've got green screen in this particular piece. Over the top we have an overlay with a title in this particular one, we have a fade out, the kindergarten recess, again, that transition is very cool. Here we have a quick science lesson, really beautiful pictures being dropped into iMovie with these beautiful transitions from one to the next to show project. Here's a slow motion example. How cool is that for a science experiment to show something that happens in slow motion? Straight pictures are easy to do, but then you can drop titles over the top of those transitions. And again, how cool is slow motion? So this kid going on the ramp. And your filter, you can take the video and put a filter over the top to emphasize how cool it looks. Here's a picture-in-picture example. And here's a split screen with a video on the left and a filter on the right. And again, your transition real quick from one to the other with a title over the top. All options available to you right now on iMovie, and the kids can do all of these on the iPads that they have in front of them. The last thing, and everybody's favorite, is GarageBand. Yes, it's big. Yes, it's ornery. Yes, Jason and I think it should be broken up into 3 separate apps. But it is a powerful app. It's not on the kids' iPads to start. So if you want to use GarageBand, you'll have to ask the IS department to push it out. But it does some really cool things. You can share your finished product, but you can mix it. You can put in live loops, which is super fun. You can talk about the instruments themselves. You can edit, and you can sample projects and create for your backgrounds. Jason and I would really love some feedback. So here's a QR code on the screen. If you could, please, oh please, take a picture of that QR code and fill out the attached Google form. It's really quick. There's only like 4 questions on there, and it will certainly help Jason and I out as we move forward with iPad U in the future. For helping us this year, we have a gift for putting up with us. You'll already have your Apple certification if you finished your courses. You'll already be signed up for your sticker, and some of you have already gotten your stickers. If we haven't got to yet, we will soon. But the biggest and the best of the gifts for putting up with all of us, putting up with Jason and I, go ahead and shake that box. Let's look inside the box. We see a bigger, stronger, faster, and even better iPad with an attached pencil. These have been ordered. It will be coming in this summer. I promise that if you finished your iPad U course, we will give you this nifty gifty in the form of an iPad, and you'll have it ready to rock by September. So, thank you very much for being part of iPad U in 2023. Please let us know how we can help support you moving forward. And remember, we want to make sure that we are building producing lessons and not consuming lessons. Being creative, collaborating, and all of those personalized learning effects. Thank you very much. And again, have an awesome summer, and let Jason and I know how we can help in the future.